and welcome to the big fight. I can tell you for most of the month of November, this country is going to be talking about one subject. And that subject is Sachin Tendulkar. You can have the elections and you can have whatever else is happening around us, but Sachin Tendulkar and the fact that he is retiring and we are not going to be seeing him playing again is something that is going to be dominating the thought process of many, many Indians. And that is exactly what we're going to be discussing today. Well, not just his cricketing career and what he's achieved, because frankly there's not much of a big fight on that particular subject. We are going to put in aside sociological question out here. The rise of Sachin and the Sachin years and the symbol that he has been for so many Indians. Is he one of the big unifiers that we have seen? These years that Sachin has been there, it's also years that India has grown in self-confidence, it's grown in many areas, and Sachin in many ways has been a symbol of all of that. So that's what we're going to be discussing, Sachin Tendulkar and what he has meant for India. And we have an absolutely great panel to take us through all aspects of that. Let me start off with some of the people who are going to be talking to us from a cricketing point of view. Sunil Gavaskar, please put your hands together for him. An absolute legend who's always a pleasure to have with us. Also with us, Chandu Borde, who's a former Indian cricketer, of course, coach, was the manager during Sachin's debut in Pakistan. So, Mr. Borde, it's great that you could join us. Charu Sharma, cricket commentator. Great to have you with us, Charu, as well. Fantastic that you could be with us. Somebody from the younger generation who may well soon be in those, or at least trying to fill up some of the vacancies that will be left in the Indian cricket team. Vijay Zol, the under-19 captain of India. Vijay, thanks for being with us. Here in the studio, Gulu Ezekiel, Tendulkar's first biographer. We have with us, and now to give us a slightly different point of view on some of this, Professor Rohit Azad, who's an economist at the Jawaharlal Nehru University, who's somewhat bemused by the hype that he's seeing around such. Debraj Mukherjee, cricket historian. Dr. Vivek Kumar, assistant professor at the Department of Sociology, also at the JNU. And Dilip Cherian, who what he doesn't know about branding and image and all that, nobody else knows. So, as I said, a range of opinions. But why don't I start with you first, Mr. Gavaskar? You also meant to have to say a lot to India in your playing years. I can tell you the number of times I bunked school and I bunked college, and the number of grades that I have personally lost because of you is pretty high, and I need to take that up with you at some point in my life. But you know, in a sense, what Sachin has also come to meet for the entire generation now is major. And I think in our audience here, we have a large number of young people. They have grown up with this one icon who has really dominated their lives.
Look at the pressures that he's had to play under, particularly in the last 8 or 10 years. Maybe the first a few years when he started, the expectations wouldn't have been all that high because he was just a beginner. But within the first couple of years, when he got those 2 brilliant hundreds, one in England, saving a match for India, saving a test match for India, and then the 100 at Perth, the fastest pitch in the world, I think the expectations went sky high. To be able to keep up with the expectations, to be able to keep his cool, to be able to keep his feet on the ground and be such a terrific role model, I think has been truly sensational to say the least, because you know, I mean, we've seen a lot of young people start off well and just go off the rails. This man never went off the rails, and you know, you can't really actually find any controversy that he's been associated with, and that's why I think he's such an icon, not just to the younger people, but to most of the Indians who have followed the game.
All right, Charu, are we going slightly overboard though with the Sachin farewell? Very little else being spoken about. You know, you have seen the criticism also from some people that perhaps he should have retired a little while earlier. How do you make the entire farewell?
Well, as far as the people of India are concerned, their biggest unifier is now retiring. So give them their due. And this key word that you're using today, unifier, is very, very important, because as we know, cricket itself cuts across every possible barrier, every class. And this one cricketer has cut across them all completely. So there is no one in India who doesn't realize just how important Sachin has been to national togetherness. You know, we all rise and with him, our hopes rise with him. And therefore, it's quite natural that people are wistful to the extreme when Sachin has finally decided that he's going to leave the game. So, yeah, all forms of celebration and all forms of attention given to Sachin are all legitimate.
Rohit, you think everyone's overdoing it?
I'm a big fan of Sachin Tendulkar, as many of you who are here. But I think there's a flip side to it also. I mean, just looking at it as a unifier of the nation, for them, for the middle class, it is, because they are the aspirational class at the moment with the post-liberalization India. But other than that, I think it is more like, taking people away from the misery or the things that they have to feel every day, just to look at cricket as a nationalistic thing, taking it more in a jingoistic manner. I mean, think of the India-Pakistan match. When Sachin Tendulkar plays, it becomes a battle between these two nations, not a game.
First of all, I think Sachin as an icon is not just for the middle class or the rich. For the poorest of person in India, he would still have been an icon for them. And if he's giving them that sense of aspiration, because let's face it, a lot of the people who are now coming in and playing for India are coming from relatively modest backgrounds.
Absolutely. I think that's a good thing which is happening to Indian cricket. I wouldn't deny that. What I meant was that for those who are seeing him as an icon, those who can aspire to be that India, is a very relatively less in number kind of India. I mean, yes, I like Sachin Tendulkar, but I can't be, a part of that India, is something that we have to live with. And that's how India has evolved, even in the neoliberal phase.
Let me just check in with you on that, Mr. Gaskar, because yes, at the time when you used to play, it was considered that the Indian cricket team would be really Mumbai and so on and so forth. But Sachin may have been from Mumbai, but what he symbolizes is not necessarily. Do you think he symbolizes something to everyone, and therefore the poorest of poor person may aspire to be a Sachin Tendulkar?
Perhaps why he's rooted is because his family consists of people who are in academics, and that's one of the reasons why he's been so grounded, where they have not allowed him to fly high. And I actually agree with the fact that because how he has gone on to become a brand, not just a cricketer, is the reason why even the poorest of poor will say, look, if my child is good, my child has showing some glimpses of cricketing ability, I would like him to do that. I would like him to carry on. What Sachin Tendulkar has done with cricket is that he's made cricket a career option. And if as a cricketer you are making people's aspirations rise, you're sort of affecting the people's lives in a positive way, I don't see anything wrong with that at all.